So I'm driving on my way home from work today, and I'm thinking about how it's been a little while since I've uploaded anything, and I want to go ahead and remedy that. I don't have anything in particular that I want to talk about, other than I hope you're doing okay. It's been a minute. I hope you had a good November, good Thanksgiving, good Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate, I don't care. I hope you had a good November, a good December. I hope you had a good January. And we just wrapped up on Valentine's Day, so if you had a Valentine's or had a Valentine or didn't have a Valentine, either way, I hope you had a good day, week, month, few months. I hope your winter's going okay. Here in the Midwest, it was not great. We had a big snowstorm, and I am pretty sure that while shoveling out the driveway, I managed to injure my shoulder somehow. Because it's still a little sore, especially when I sleep on it at night. So, that could be better, but I'm alive, and I was able to shovel the whole thing out. I've gotten fitter, fit enough that I could shovel the whole thing out by myself without really getting out of breath or feeling like I was going to die, which was cool. The snow's melting now, but I hear tell that we're supposed to get another round of it perhaps in the next few days, so it'll be interesting to see if that happens or not. But either way, the world keeps turning. Things keep happening. Life keeps moving on. So I hope it's been a good season for you. My family and I have been blessed. I can be certain of that. Things can be frustrating sometimes. Things can be tough sometimes. We are working on a big project. I think I've said before, I got a new job last year. We're coming up on 1 year at the new job, which is very strange to think about, but that also means 1 year of commuting. And that's been a hardship on the family. I'm looking forward to the days when that stumbling block is removed from us and things could go back to being a little more could be spending a little more time with the family, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, so we are working on a big project. We're finding a place to live closer to the new job, and part of that entails building and renovating and figuring out where things go and how we want them, and all that sort of stuff. And that can be stressful. So there are certainly stressors in life, but in general, things are good on a personal life level. Feeling a lot of anger and frustration, even though I may not show it on a regular basis. To anybody personally who knows me that's watching this, you know that I am a relatively chill guy. I'm pretty go with the flow, pretty happy-go-lucky in most things. And And there is a lot going on in the world today and in our country and in the state in which I live that is cause for concern, is frustrating, is angering, and I'm kind of two minds when it comes to this. I've always been someone who is able to look at both sides of the coin and argue effectively for multiple perspectives on an issue. It was something that in high school, it wasn't a debate class, but we had debate and speech as part of social studies. It was something that kind of continued through college and higher education. But I've always been able to kind of see multiple perspectives on things. Even if I don't agree with all of the perspectives, I can at least see merit in them, or at least be able to find the merit in them to be able to argue what merit exists, if any does. There are certainly viewpoints on certain subjects for which no merit actually exists, or for which only bad faith arguments can be made. And I don't like to do that sort of thing. I don't appreciate bad faith arguments, and I don't like making bad faith arguments. So, what that boils down to is, with everything that's going on in our country, I don't find merit on both sides. I'm not going to sit here and go and say both sides on things like unrest in Minneapolis or what have you. Take your pick. Take your pick. But I don't think it's something that we can effectively both sides. There are very fine people on both sides is not generally something that you will hear coming out of my mouth. Let's be clear on that. But I tend to be a bridge builder. I tend to be, let's be honest, I tend to be a people pleaser. I tend to be someone who, if that positive trait of mine, or I view it as a positive trait of mine, is taken to a logical extension or an extreme, I would let someone walk all over me. I would let someone, again, if taken to that extreme, if I don't keep my boundaries up, if I don't keep some of those tendencies in check, I would let someone walk all over me. I would let someone take advantage of me. I would give someone the shirt off my back who maybe didn't deserve it, or would then use that shirt to do harm to me. Give them the tools that they could then use to harm me or my family. And that's something that concerns me these days. Is I have friends that I disagree with politically. I still view them as friends. I still view them as good people. I think that they are making the choices that they make. I think that they have the morality that they have. I think that they view the world that they do, and they think of themselves as good people. In general, I think of them as good people. They wouldn't be my friends otherwise. So I can see why they choose to think the things they think, or why they believe the things they believe. I disagree with them. In some cases, vehemently. Vigorously do I disagree with them. But I don't want to necessarily call them out on those things. I don't want to argue about those things with them, because fomenting that sort of division doesn't help my cause, doesn't help the side that I agree with or believe in. It doesn't help build bridges. It doesn't help fix the cracks and the disunity and the division that is so prevalent in our country these days. In fact, it gives ammunition to all of the commentators who are speaking in bad faith, who are making those bad faith arguments. They say, look, the other side believes these things and they hate you for it, and they're willing to destroy friendships for it, and they're willing to hurt other people for it. And so there is a part of me that doesn't want to give them that ammunition to use in bad faith. It doesn't want to have the difficult conversations. It doesn't want to have arguments or, even terse discussions, frankly, about these things, because it may only cause them to sink back into the mire, the muck, the ichor of their policy positions that I, don't agree with. That frankly, in some cases, I find to be concerning. Let's call it that. In the interest of bridge building. But then there's a part of me that just feels like that's the coward's way out. There's a part of me that gets so frustrated at myself for not speaking up, for not calling out other people, whether they're friends or not, for not speaking up. The phrase is, it's a common one. It's I remember first hearing it in Hamilton, but it's obviously been something that's been around since way before that. But if you stand for nothing, Burr, what'll you fall for? If you don't stand up for the things you believe in, and in particular, if we don't stand up for our rights, if we don't stand up for our freedoms, if we don't stand up against tyranny and authoritarianism, then when the authoritarian comes for us, then not only is there not anyone that has been a bulwark against that there to help defend us, but we let that bulwark be destroyed. We let those people be used up. We let others get hurt in the name of our comfort, in our convenience, in the name of our laziness, in the name of our cowardice. And that doesn't mean that these have to be fist fights. I'm not going out there saying let's punch Nazis. Although I do enjoy punk rock music, which has a proud history of punching Nazis. I think America itself, especially when we're talking about World War II, has a proud history of punching Nazis. But I don't think that's how we do things now, in today's day and age, in this moment. Maybe we'll get to that point. Maybe we will come to the place where physical resistance will become necessary. I'd say for some folks, they're at that point. For some communities, they're at that point. And if they are at that point, then am I at that point too? Should I also be at that point as someone who doesn't want to let the bulwark fail and falter and fall? Is there a place for some folks who resist and some folks who build bridges? Can we exist at the same time? Can those two things exist at the same time in the same person? Or does one of them eventually have to win out? And if it does, is it the path of least resistance? Is it cowardice under the guise of building bridges? Or is it courage in having the difficult conversations and perhaps scuttling relationships that mean a lot to you? Is it just stepping out and finding new relationships? Is it putting yourself into the territory of people who disagree with you, perhaps as vehemently as you disagree with them, and choosing to go out there and trying to maybe not change their mind overnight, but at least chip away at the flaws in their logic that you see, that are evident to you, and perhaps letting them chip away at the flaws that they readily see in your mind or in your positions. Either way, I don't have a good answer today. This is just free therapy for me. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen. If you watched through the whole thing, I really appreciate it. I'm not going to ask for a like or a subscribe or whatever. Like I said, this is just therapy for me. But I think there's an answer out there. And I think it's going to be an important one, especially in the coming days, weeks, months, and years. But I hope that you're doing okay. If you have thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments. I promise you I will read them and I will try to respond. Maybe this is the opportunity to have a conversation. Maybe this is the opportunity for someone to push back on one or all of the thoughts that I have. But I think overall, I'm finding myself more and more motivated to have those conversations. And always in good faith, always in the interest of building bridges. It may not be to convince you of something, and it may not be because I am going to be convinced of anything from your way. But if I can at least tell you how I feel, what I feel, why I feel that way, what I believe and why I believe it, then maybe you'll understand, and maybe I can understand from your perspective. And they say that the greatest disinfectant is sunlight. Putting things out into the open and trying to understand each other is a good thing. I don't know that it has anything but positive benefits. People, there have been studies done. People tend to be less insular, less racist, less classist when they get out into the world. They are less scared of other people or peoples, types of people, when they experience them out in the world. So if you share your perspective and I share mine, I can help you understand why I believe the things I do, and you for me, then perhaps we can help make our corner of the world a little bit better place. Perhaps you can make my life better and I can do the same to you. Or at least help you understand, so that next time you have to have a fight with your uncle at Thanksgiving later this year, you'll have some real solid ammunition. You will understand his position and really be able to stick it to him. So maybe it's nothing more than that. Either way, I hope things are going well for you. I hope that you are having a great day today. I hope that you are feeling blessed, and I hope that life only continues to get better for you. So have a great day. Have a great evening. God bless and Godspeed.